a good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love by the waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all.
What's going on, believers? Guys, I hope everybody's having a good morning. My name's Bleeves, and you're here for Breakfast with Bleeves. So the first and the biggest news of the day is going to be this. Burn has been delayed. There is an issue with the liquidation. It's called the liquefy portion of the contract, and that thing is going to be delayed at least for another couple of hours. It could extend into tomorrow for all I know. They are saying that it is going to launch today on 4/21, but we don't have any confirmation yet. They are still working on whatever piece it is. In their testing, they said it was working, but there were anomalies, and those anomalies are enough that they are incredibly concerned. So we're going to see it very soon. We just won't see it right now. In the meantime, Shiba Doge is up 23.4% on the day, trading with heavy volume at 1.129 million at 33.50. So that's a pretty good amount for Shiba Doge right now. If you pull out here a little bit, you can see there was a cascade to the downside. The support line here was at 33. So it's going to have to bust through that. We're going to need that launch. When that launch happens, I think that we're going to start seeing a real big pump. Maybe we'll even get back up here in this 57 number. There's not a lot of resistance that you can see at that 50 other than a 46 and maybe some resistance here at 43. There's a strong resistance at 43, but if we can just bust through that wall and get our way up there, then it could be smooth sailing for a little while. And remember, one of the big functions of the burn contract is that 2% of all of the burn wallet reflections, whatever you call it, 2% of that wallet is going immediately to Shiba Doge burns. It's going to be done every day, so we're going to see a lot of it, and it's going to be removed from the blockchain. Now, part of that is Shiba Doge does not have a renounced contract. They are still in control of their contract, so they can change it. And you can see right here, it's still trading in the top 10. It's at the hot number 4 position. So Shiba Doge is going to have a moment. It's just been delayed a little bit, and we'll see how that run up goes. Moving on. Wagmi is up 13% in the 24-hour period. There were some big purchases last night. There were some big investors coming in. I think there was one for like 7 ETH that popped up on the radar. There we go. There was 7 ETH that popped up last night, and that caused another 8 ETH buy a little bit later on. Not the same person. You can see some sell-off here because the Chad Bro's got a Chad Bro, man. Like, dude, I needed my 0.1 ETH for, like, stuff. So, like, bro, or whatever, whatever crazy shit Chads say. But you see some sell down. There is some sell down. There's always going to be, but it doesn't seem to be too much. And you see D622 is cashing out for 0.68. Like, guys, listen, you invest how you want, but it seems weird to me that people are cashing out for 0.1 or 0.6. Like, that seems a little bit light for me. Like, but you do you, boo, I think is the phrase. Like, I just can't imagine cashing out something that's going to be life-changing like that, which it is, by the way. Wagmi is going to have a huge run, and I hope it's not people who listen to me, because if it's somebody who listens to me, then you're out of your mind. This is a great investment. This is one of those long-term, I'm sure that it's going to just erupt, explode, and change a lot of lives kind of games. So I just, man, I don't want you to make the wrong decision. So if it was you, unsubscribe or something. I don't know, man. Volt 1127. You can see up here the all-time high is 1317. It caught that support line down at 9,000 after this little cascaded sell-off, about 400 points, and now it's all the way back up to 1127 right now. And for those of you that are paying attention, Ethereum is not running yet, but it's starting to make some big moves from that hit down at 2,900 just 2 days ago. It's now back up to 31.63. It seems to be pushing and pushing and pushing. There's resistance still, but we'll see what happens in the long term over the course of today and tomorrow. But it really feels like this market wants to run. Whales are just trying to keep it from going. Shift tokens, by the way, you can now stake your Shift tokens through Brew Labs. I staked mine the other day, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. This is a long-term play, a long-term investment. For those of you that are paying attention, I think you remember I did describe to you that Shift was coming out with an app in July, and so far what we see from it we like. What we're looking for, though, is for it to do something like STEPN. And STEPN, as I reminded you yesterday, was just one of these big-time top 50. I think it was at 58 yesterday or something like that. It's number 67 today, and it's got a market cap of $1.9 billion. Now, imagine you're in Shift right now at $1 million market cap, and this thing goes to 1.9 billion. How would your life change if that were to happen? Because that's that's almost a 2,000x from where you are. So this is some life-changing shit that might be happening on this program. Next one up is Terrarium, 2551. Obviously not near the all-time high, but you can see here for the last couple of days, we've been trending back upwards. It seems like people are over whatever issues there were before, and maybe we'll get a good run out of it. It seems like a big move here if it continues as a build-up to this announcement tomorrow. That announcement, by the way, is taking place at 10 p.m. International Time. 10 p.m. International Time would be 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So that announcement's going to be tomorrow on Friday, and we'll see what they say at that point. But they're going to be talking about TerraPool, which is the launch pad for other tokens, and they're going to be talking about the Terrarium exchange. So they may be telling us that the Terrarium exchange is way further along than anything that we think right now. Like, it might be that there's something going crazy in the next little while. Like this might just go hard, but we'll see. SafeApe continues to show support. Now, SafeApe has been having a little trouble with getting investors in. You can see here, like, the trading is just a little bit light. It's only got a $300,000 market cap, but it does have one of the best swaps when it comes to appearance and what it looks like. So we're going to pop over here. We're going to launch the DApp. You can see here, it's a fairly clean interface. The trading is pretty simple. Here's the decentralized exchange for you to make your swaps and trades. All you have to do is connect your wallet. You can do it through Ethereum. You can do it through BSC. You can do it through Polygon. I don't know if it's enabled yet. They were talking to me about it. It was not available yet, but it would be available soon. So make your play on this one. Like, I kind of like this thing. It's going to take a little while for it to get some traction. They're going to have to do some work. They're going to have to get themselves out there, but then we'll see what we see. But again, this was down here, and even though there's low trading volume, you can see a strong level of support, and that's what you really want to see. Robo Inu is at 45. I'm trying to hold on here because I think that this thing's going to have a nice run. But I thought by this point that we would have like a new website, a new interface, and it's still kind of the same. So I think things have been delayed just a little bit with them. I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't looked in their chat for a little while. So we'll check this out a little bit later on, and I'll let you know. Saitama is at 64.69. If you look over here, there's been a nice little run in the last bunch of hours. There is an AMA that's scheduled for today, and that AMA is going to be with Russ and the dev team on their official YouTube channel. Here we go. There's an AMA with Saitama at 4 p.m. today, Central Standard Time. You can tune into the official channel. They're going to be talking about some juicy details on our upcoming centralized exchange adoption and card to crypto payment integration partnership. That's important. That's going to make it much easier for adoption of Saitama. And that's one of those pieces that presents an obstacle. And it looks like, and I hope it's not complicated, because if it's not, then they're removing the obstacle that you have for integration and purchase of Saitama, and they're making it just a little bit easier for people, even if you're going through Saitama, wherever you're going. So don't count Saitama out yet, by the way, because I went to my Twitter account. Saitama won this vote by over, listen, there's 2,036 votes. That means over 1,000 people voted for Saitama. So like that should be a pretty good sentiment. Like these people are still passionate about this project. So I would not discount anything that's going on with Saitama right now. CVC is still going through some things, but as you can see over here, it's still $100,000 in trading volume. So these moves go down and they're coming back up, and it's still consolidating at a lower point with a lower market cap. But again, like I keep telling you every day, we need to wait for that moment where it starts to really just start to send. And then BTFA is also struggling mightily with losing a little bit of investor sentiment right here. And there's no fault of their own. Like they're doing a good job. It's just that this is the market. And, it's funny, but the market is the market, and investor sentiment just gets really weird sometimes. And it's just one little thing that investors start to get weird about. And then here we go. We're having this little thing to the downside, and the holders continue to increase. So that's a positive sign for it. So let's get into chat now, and let's see what is going on. Good morning, Richard. Strange dumping hard. Yeah, Strange is dumping hard, but it was dumping down to 2,000. And then it dumped down to 2,100, and now it's back up to 2,500 at the time of this. So I told you yesterday or the day before, guys, I made a video, and I told you in the video that there was going to be a dump coming, that I'm not recommending that you buy up here at the top because that's silly. What you want to do is you want to play a dip. And the dip was right here at the 2,000, 2,200 support line. And if you go back to my video 2 days ago, then you'll see what we were talking about. And I told you that there was a support line right here that it would probably bounce off of. Well, twice now it's made big bounces. So it's gone from 2,000 up to 3,000. And now it went from 2,000 up to 2,500. There's a lot of support and a lot of people like this project. Now, not only that, they've announced that they're having 11 different use cases, and they've launched Strange Swap, or not Strange Swap, but the staking pool. So they now have staking live for Strange Inu. This is not just your average pump and dump token. Like they're actually making things work, and they're actually doing things with this token, and they're going to launch Strange Swap within the next 30 days. So like it's really kind of moving along. So I know we were nervous because it said Strange Inu, and we were looking at that multiverse thing. We were looking at the Marvel sort of tie-in, but guess what? It's still pumping. It's still doing its thing, and they are still coming through. Samer, what's going on, man? Good morning. Wagmi is doing its thing. Let's go Wagmi Army. Anyone know about the new Volt listing? The Volt listing is BTC Alpha. It's the number 234th ranked exchange in the world. It's not a big deal. Overall in the market, it's still an exchange. It trades about $47 million in volume every day. And in fact, we can go look at it real quick. BTC. Here we go. BTC Alpha. It's number 241. It's got $43 million in trading volume, but this was not one of the exchanges that that Voltoshi was talking about. This was one that was just presented to him. They were willing to list it. So that's what happened. Burn, David, what's going on, man? We covered Burn. It looks like we got some GSH. Hey, man, thank you for the $5 bomb. Volt Inu. Volt Inu is going to have another big run, guys. It's coming. It's coming very, very soon. And thank you, everybody, for being here in the chat. Hit the like button, smash the like button. Let's get some more people in here, and let's talk crypto for a little while. Sergio, any idea on Volt staking in the future? Keep up the great work. I appreciate you, Sergio. Matter of fact, it's something that is being worked on, but it's probably going to come through that. Now, remember, there's some partnerships that are going on. I think one of the partnerships is Everrise, and Everrise is big on staking and pooling and stuff like that. So I would think that the natural integration for Volt is going to be that the staking pool is going to be available through them. It's going to be, I'm not sure 100% yet, but we've always talked about it. And here's the big thing. If you follow, I've got some videos coming out today. It's going to cover all your favorites. One of them being Volt. And there was a message that Voltoshi sent to chat, and it says, Power, look here. We all know you're a really picky person. We all appreciate you, all your help to the Volt Army. I'm glad to finally be able to tell you that I'm going to make you happy in the coming days with something you've been asking for since day one. Power has been asking for, I think, pictures of me, like in poses, like superhero poses or something like that. And if not, then probably staking. So I would think that staking for Volt is coming very, very soon, a lot sooner than we think. So we'll see. Burn, yeah, that was a long day, man. I Bleeves in Volt. There you go, man. I expect them to relaunch today as Fizzle. Hey, man, listen, they found a problem in the contract. They don't want to release it with the problem because they don't want to be like one of these other tokens that does this crazy shit and launches it and it's broken, it doesn't work, because that does more to harm their reputation than delaying it a little while. So we'll see. Thanks for always responding to my DMs when I have questions. Hey, absolutely, man. Helping people is the important part here. I tried to buy the new Volt, but the call failed, lost $60 of ETH. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yo, Bleeves, I'm saying the same shit. Why people cash out 0.03 ETH? Dude, I have no idea. Like I like sometimes you're desperate. Like I can understand situations in which you're desperate and you're like, you need $10 or $30 in gas fees to make a transaction. So maybe you pull out a little bit from one of your bags. But if you're cashing out and it costs you more to cash out than you even make, like, it's crazy to me. Like, it's just absolutely insane. Like I would rather see much bigger stuff happening. Hey, Cocoa Puff, thank you for the bomb, man. Good morning, Bleeves. How are you feeling after the Phantom devs doxing? Hopefully this will relieve tension from others. I felt great about it to begin with. I wasn't really in a bad place with Phantom to begin with. Like, I know my friend. Listen, I'm not going to agree with everybody all of the time. I talked to Rodney on the phone. I talked to Austin on the phone. I talked to Brad on the phone. They were adamant that they feel that they were misled. And when I was talking yesterday, I was kind of defending Kings because, like, I don't have a problem with him. Like, he was straight up with me. So all I can say is he was straight up with me in the whole thing. I said to Rodney, I'm like, hey man, listen, on my breakfast with Bleeves in yesterday morning, what I said was this. And I said that maybe you misheard, like, and because I didn't know. And he's like, bro, no, I did not mishear. Like, this is exactly what he said. He said that other people were doing it for free to me, which is why I said, then I got you, man. So he feels like he was misled. And then that led to this cascade of these guys. So I don't know what the issue is. I don't know what the situation is. What I know is my dealing was straight up. He came to me. He asked me. I gave him a price. He paid the price. And then we hung out for a half hour and just chatted and shot the shit. So I didn't have any kind of problems. So I don't know, guys, but I'm still in. So, I mean, we'll see. Tweety Bird said it's bird season. Yeah, the claw, the squawk, the crow, all of those things are coming out all of the sudden. And if you're not on that train, find the right one. Good morning, Kristen. Volting, what's going on? Watch for the dump. BMI. Where's Batman now? BMI. We're checking out Batman pretty much every day. So let's see where we are today. 125 holders, man. It's still just kind of struggling to find some support. 11,000 in volume, but it looks like a lot of sell yesterday as it cascades down. But here's what I'm going to say. Like it or not, if you got in here early and you took profits right here, you probably felt pretty good. If you bought back in right here, you're probably feeling pretty good again. Like there's an opportunity for this thing to cascade upwards. You're going to get a big, you're going to get a big play probably at some point. There seems to be some goodwill and some good sentiment to it, and I think the liquidity functions and everything like this right here. Like it's not big investors that are in this. There's nobody that's really sitting there that's going to wreck it. So it seems at least to be kind of honest. Batman Inu having an AMA with Rodney. They released their NFT Tuesday. Yeah, I saw that. We saw the NFTs the other day. We took the time to look at them, and it seems like they're pretty cool. Like they I mean, obviously it looks like Batman. So it's going to present a problem at some point, but it's not so much that you can't argue with people now that just, hey man, it's a bat, it's a man, it's I don't know. Saitama hasn't delivered on one thing. Yeah, you know what? Uh that's not, I don't think that's entirely true. They delivered on hype, so that's got to be something. Hey, yo, guys, Batman having an AMA today at 4 p.m. It's going to be huge. All right. 4 p.m. UTC. That means about 11 a.m. my time. So 11 a.m. Central. People are waiting. Does one for Saitama? Does one good move? Yeah. Just one good move would actually be awesome. What does Saitama deliver to his people? Hey, man. So GSH, here's what I'm going to say. If you got into Saitama early, then you got a $7.7 billion market cap at one point. So it didn't deliver nothing. It delivered to a lot of people some life-changing profit. Now, when you're looking for a use case and an actual utility, you're right. It has come up far short. However, in the last little while, it's done a lot to present itself as a much better product with a use case. And Saitamask is not the greatest, but it is highly used and functional, and it does a disservice really when we look over here again. Like, there are a lot of positive people in the Saitamaverse. Like, it's not like these people are out in mass voting for things. Like, they want people to know the positivity that they bring, and I know that they have a crew of people who are not the most positive. I'm well aware of that. But at the end of the day, like, if they keep doing this kind of stuff, then people are going to continue to invest. And as they provide use cases and as they continue to work on what it is that they're doing, and by the way, they've handed off Saitamask to a new development team, and Max is now working on something else. Now, think what you want about Max and his development team. They're the ones that developed Saitamask so that it didn't work properly. Or they had trouble making it work properly. So there's definitely an issue, but I'm not sure that's the same issue. I don't know. Maybe this next group is going to fix a whole lot of things very quickly, and we'll see how it goes. Good morning, everyone. Hold a big bag of Saitama. We'll hold. Yeah, it's at some point it's gonna have another run. What's up, DNA? It would be cool if Wolverine would add all the Inu in their fighting game. I think that some of those are difficult because those are IPs, and you kind of have to you have to develop it and stuff like that, and you need to have support. You need to have help. I think Volt Inu was trying to be helpful and probably paid for their own design. So, good morning, Melissa. Do we have to stake our Shiba and Doge Army NFTs somewhere to get the coin rewards, or just hold them in the wallet? You'll have to stake them, and in order to stake them, there'll be a staking spot. It launches tomorrow. So Twillo, when you'll get an announcement tomorrow. It might be delayed, by the way, until Saturday because Burn was delayed for a day. So they might need to make sure that this is working. So it might be delayed for a day or so. I may not also. But yeah, staking is supposed to come on April 22nd. So we'll see it then. Russ looks like and sounds like a total scammer. Body language and the way he talks gives away his greasy intent. Now listen, I'm trying very hard not to be negative about Saitama. I'm doing that as a personal decision for me, because I don't want anybody like back here. William is invested in Saitama. I don't want my opinion to screw with his investment. So I want to be honest about it. So I'm going to tell you if I don't like it, but I don't like picking on Russ anymore, and I'm trying not to as best I can. His body language to me doesn't tell me that he's a scammer. His body language to me tells me that he's probably not the super rich guy that he kind of gave the impression of, and that's it. And that he got his money, and he's pretty neophyte to being wealthy, and this is all brand new for him, and he's just kind of fitting himself into this. But here's the thing. If that's the case, and he bought a Lambo, he bought an Escalade for his wife, I think it was, he's like, they obviously have life-changing money, and he doesn't have to take shit from anybody anymore if that's the case. And guess what? Here he is every day taking the brunt of whatever damage is happening in Saitama, and he's standing out here and he's taking it on the chin every day, and he's putting his reputation on the line. So That's probably got to mean something to somebody. Like that part has to matter at least somewhere. Shiba Doge has Coinbase listing on their roadmap. Do you think they can do that with so many zeros? No, they absolutely cannot. That doesn't mean that they're not going to move to a version 2 and that it's not being planned. Not sure. I migrated my Volt, but had some leftover that I didn't. Now I wake up this morning with a balance of 9,000, which I know isn't right. What should I do? Migrate it over if it's worth it. If it's not worth it, then don't worry about it. Why don't Saitama just fix the issues with Saitama? They are fixing the issue with Saitama. It's being done by another team. So, too good for burn. Not showing your screen, but God damn it. All right. I'm going to be skipping some of these. What's going on, Ryan? Hope you're having a good morning or evening. Like it's probably evening for Ryan right now. Damn. Let's throw Ryan an invite. Hey Ryan, I just posted the link if you want to come in here for a few minutes. Do you think Shiba Inu is played out? Absolutely not. Shiba Inu is still going to have another run. I think that it's kind of reached max capacity. Like I think that in a lot of different ways, some of these things just like they're not going to be able to run. They don't have, you don't have the investors, you don't have the sentiment, you don't have everything behind you. When you don't have things behind you like you want to have, you don't have like the wind behind your sails, then you're not going to move. And it takes a lot of different things to continue making progress. And sometimes it just takes that you have to have that level of consolidation. Here's something to remember. No token is going straight up. When we talk about the best tokens or great tokens or anything like that, we're going to go back here. And we did this yesterday kind of as an exercise, but here is Shiba Doge. Shiba Doge got on a run and it went from this start down here all the way up here. It had 150 or $200 million market cap at one point, and then it cascaded all the way back down here. Then it caught some support and it bounced up, and then it's cascading over here, back down slowly. But it's not a rug pull. There's nothing wrong with it. It just can't support this sort of high level. And then here we go again, and it's having another run and another move. If you look at Wagmi, none of this changes. I'm looking at the day charts right now. So you're starting to see this on a day chart. And you see here, Wagmi kind of had a bump because of the pre-sales. Then it consolidated right here. Then it ran up really high. And again, when it ran up really high, it ran up maybe twice the market cap that it's at right now. And then it cascaded back down because it doesn't support that line. And then here we are back down here. Volt actually is one of the very few that have been able to hold themselves up on a high level, but that liquidity pool, the way that they're doing some of their the way that they were doing things was working and keeping their liquidity high. It was keeping everything pumped. But even then, if you remember, Volt was at 6,000 at one point and cascaded all the way back down to just below 3,000. So even Volt had a big dip. Now you look at Terra and you see the same thing, like Terra, and we all know the reason that Terra had this little move here, but let's look at this. It had a nice big run up. Then it had this move sideways. Then it ran up again. And then that's where the big dump happened. This is where we had Binance doing that Binance shit. And then now it's down here. And you see here, it's on this support line. But this support line is $128 million market cap. And you go to every one of these tokens or any one of these tokens, and you see the same thing over and over and over again. No token supports massive market caps unless it has a chance to consolidate. So, and then here is Saitama, and you look at it right here and you see, look, all this money. There was so much life-changing money for so many people that went all the way up here. And then you look over here and you see where it is right now. And like, sure, you might be upset with it, but it did make a lot of money for a lot of people, but it just doesn't support like 300,000 people doesn't support. Let me give you an example here. This is Saitama, and it was sitting around $1 billion market cap for a long time. And look over here. And this is not an accurate number, but it's a close number, 361,000 holders. Now, let me go over here to Kishu, because I want to show you something, because I noticed that there's a lot of similarities between Kishu and Saitama. Look over here. You can see a $340 million market cap. Kishu has 252,000 holders. Again, it's a reflection-based token that does reflection, that has a bunch of wallets that are just holding microscopic amounts. And what did Kishu do? Kishu had a big run, and then it cascaded way back down here. This is where, by the way, this is where Saitama is. Kishu had this giant run, and then it cascaded back down because it didn't have a level of support. But you can see here, this level of support that it created down here became this part right here. Then it ran up one more time, and then it cascaded down here to support lines up here. So if you were at, let's say right here, 5,600, and now you're consolidating at 1,400, you're up 3x in the consolidation. Like, things get way better. What's going on, Ryan Patrick?
Bleeves, what's happening, man? How are you?
Dude, it's the battle of the microphones now. What's going on?
I noticed that. I was like, yes, I love it. I love it, man. How you been?
Yeah, man, I saw that microphone and I'm like, man, you know what? I need to have that microphone. And then I said like glowing microphone and stuff like that. I put it into like chats, and it was the HyperX. And I was like, oh, that's the one I got to have.
Yeah, and it was the only one I could find in Cape Town, by the way, to kind of upgrade my whole setup. But it's a great mic. It's a great mic.
What's crazy is I ordered mine off of Amazon, and I ordered mine at 3 p.m. in the afternoon one day, and it was at my house at 5 o'clock.
Oh, I love that.
That was
happened with a watch.
Crazy. That was
crazy. The 2-hour deal. Amazing. Yeah. You never find that anywhere outside of the U.S.
Right. It was insane to me that it was there. Like I ordered it. I ordered it while I was at work, and I went home, and I had to do something. So I came back at like 5:30, and it was just sitting on the porch. And I'm like, oh my God.
You sound crispy, man. You're crispy as hell right now.
All right. So anyway, we were talking about these cascades up and down. That
perfect.
You know, like these support line, like because what is it? Strange Inu. Like Strange Inu is one of those weird sort of tokens. It's like, you know, obviously it's you're playing off Doctor Strange and stuff like that, and it's been just running, right? And it's been running since the beginning, and now it's finally facing its first big set of resistance. And I was just explaining to people, like, this happens with every token. The same thing happened with Saitama, and I was comparing it to Kishu, because Kishu did the same thing. It's got 250,000 holders. You just can't hold those big support lines. There's not enough investors. Like, you need 1 million investors to have that giant level of support, especially when you have like reflection tokens.
And you're on the, let's see, what chart are you on here? You're on the day chart.
This is BNB. Yeah, I'm on the day chart right now. If you look at the 1 hour, then it looks a little better.
Oh, there we go.
But you can see here, like it pops down here. Like, here's the funny thing, like for something so out of the realm, so to speak, for Strange Inu, like it had a support line. You can see right here around 2,300, 2,200, and it hit, and it bounced from 2,000 back up to 3,000, and then it just did it again and bounced to 2,100, and it's now back up to 2,691. Like, this thing is holding a ridiculous amount of support.
No, that's a beautiful chart,
right?
Too. I mean, even with the retracement, I mean, that's healthy.
Yeah, and by the way, they are sponsoring me for the next 30 days. So we're going to be covering this thing all the time, just kind of checking in on it. I am fascinated by the fact that this thing is just continuing. These guys are really smart. The utility long term might be difficult, because right now they have a staking pool, which was important. Like, you need like staking to take your money out of circulation and let it build and work for you. That's important. And then they have a swap coming within the next 30 days. So they're taking the easy things and they're putting them out there for people, and the hard things they're just kind of moving towards. So they're invested in the success of this thing, man. And I think that's kind of awesome.
You know, I have not, let's see, maybe I have gone to their website, because some people were asking me about this one in the lives, And I was like, I like the name. I really like the name, but I know
Right.
nothing about this particular token. And it is a BSC project, and I've kind of been wary about covering those. But but you're liking this
Yeah.
one clearly because you've partnered with them.
I like the people. Like
Okay.
these guys so far have been really good.
Hmm.
They've been they obviously you can see what they're doing, and they're gonna have to do some course correcting, like any one of these tokens. But I mean, Volt had to do a course correction. Um, who hasn't really in the meme
Right.
coin space at some point? Because we're all borrowing from somebody else when we're doing it. So this one is you can if you buy 2 BNB, you get one free NFT. They haven't come out yet, but they're going to be out in a couple days, and you can get a doctor. You get either Strange, Zombie Strange, or Evil Strange,
Interesting.
and it's
It,
for the first 1,000 holders, and they don't have 1,000 holders yet. But then when you get here, like you can see, obviously,
I'm looking at the utilities right now. I'm looking at Strange blockchain. It's kind of funny on a branding level
yeah,
because it's
yep.
like it it doesn't bolster well for like reliability of with Strange blockchain. But I dig it. I dig the icons. I'm just kind of going through right now. I was gonna look at the wallet distribution.
And as a matter of fact, I can't see how they didn't see it and say instead of a strange exchange, how about an exchange?
An exchange, yeah,
Like
kind
like
of
like play
meld
with
a
the words, have
little
fun
bit.
with it.
Yeah. No, this is cool. All right, let's see. Like the white paper layout. I'm just catching up with all this. This is
Yeah,
cool.
and they're
Hey.
not like it's not horrible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the thing that you always look at and you're like, I'm not sure. But you're gonna have the strange NFT, you're gonna have a strange swap, you're gonna have a strange staking.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually producing things that you want to have. And I'm sure the app is if I'm looking, then I'm going to say this strange app is going to be the next step. And then the sister token probably for some additional utility or something like that that would be tied probably to the blockchain. Visa and debit cards becoming easier and easier every day. The
That's right.
strange universe, there's probably going to be a very inexpensive sort of game, a skinned game of some sort that comes out, which is play to earn while they work on something bigger, which would be the metaverse here. And
Mm-hmm.
then an exchange. The exchange seems like a stretch, but the merchandise is also very easy. So they could create. I mean, I don't know if it's sustainable, but they can create a lot of use in a short period of time with what they're doing. So
Yeah, and you're talking about prioritizing catalysts too. So
yeah,
some of the easier things you line those up because you got to keep people
yeah.
interested and involved. And I'm sorry, I have my indoor voice on. I've got my wife taking a nap
Oh,
adjacent
right
to
on.
me here, so that's why I'm like a little cryptic right now.
Well, the awesome part is
Yeah.
4% is going to liquidity. So, those are the things
Yes.
like the way that people are doing liquidity now is a lot better than they were doing it a while back because it wasn't even a focus. And now
Hmm.
they're supporting a higher floor price every time when they have these liquidity things. Like, so it, these guys, it, again, I'm not sure it lasts forever, but for
Okay.
right now, they seem to have they got a plan. They seem to be working on it, and why not support them?
No doubt. I have a question for you now.
Yeah,
How do you feel about the 12% tax
too
in and
much.
out though? It's a lot.
It's too much.
I mean, they could
But
bump these reflections down to 2% to keep it a 10% tax, in my
it,
opinion.
yeah, and in fact, I don't know if it's a renounced contract or not. It might be
Hmm.
something for them to do for right now. But people really like reflections because even though, like, we know it's kind of a game. Like that's a game that people play with because it makes you feel like you're getting something for nothing, and that's what everybody wants. But it doesn't increase your value.
Hmm.
It's not a value added move for
Right.
the project. Might be for an individual who's got a big bag. It's an incentive for somebody to hold on to more, but like I don't think it adds value to a project. And I think that we're probably going to start to see reflections die as liquidity becomes more um, like more the norm. And
Yeah.
taking
Well,
reflections away or at least down to 1% seems like a rational move. But it also at the end of the day, for me, it creates a false impression long way down the road, like what's going on with Saitama, saying they have 360,000 investors. Well, they have 200,000 investors with less than $100 in their
Yeah.
wallet. A lot because they got wrecked, but a lot also because of reflections. The same way that Kishu has 252,000. All of these reflections, especially on projects that move fast with trading, like all of them have a lot of people that just don't have anything worthwhile in their wallet. Like I've got tons of just dust stuff from plays that I've made over the last year
Right.
that's just sitting there. Like I've got Hina Inu. I'm listed as a holder of Hina Inu right now, and I have 2 million
And when did you
tokens
sell that?
worth 10 cents. I sold it almost a year ago.
Yeah, and you can't. That's the whole thing. You can't sell your whole bag. Anybody who tries to sell all of their tokens, sometimes you're successful, but
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't go down like that, and you're gonna have dust.
Mm-hmm. And
So
I'm looking down my list. I have all kinds of them.
So one thing that I think would be interesting, because I did a live stream today. I'm kind of pivoting towards crypto education on Wednesdays for
Yeah.
coconuts and crypto. And one thing I think would be interesting is if, they dialed down the reflections, and this isn't just for Strange Inu, this is just for future projects, and they have a new action, because I think the label says a lot about what the team is doing in terms of not
Yeah.
only tokenomics but also like if you're in BSC scan or Etherscan, for example.
Oh, we might be losing Ryan.
Doing. Oh, can you not hear me?
Yeah, we just lost you for a second.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I was just saying utility production, I think, should be a new label for tokenomics.
Yeah.
I think that would be wise, so people know we're working towards a use case.
Yeah, I think they're calling it development right now. I think
Okay.
you're starting to see development pop up a lot, and then you're seeing like marketing / development
Yeah, that
as if
bothers
it's
me.
the same thing.
No, because developer tells me this is going to the dev team. Do you see,
It
like,
does. It does to me
the
too.
messaging isn't right for me?
Yeah. That's what I felt like. Like, why are you just paying the developer? And yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, little bit more finite, messaging when it comes to labels. But we're just kind of poking around here.
Yeah. Are you going to get in on burn? Have you looked at the Shiba Doge burn thing?
I'm sorry, Bleeves. I'm No, I have not. I have not even seen. So I know that he did a video. I'm just catching up on some of the newer projects right now.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Oh my God, it's fascinating.
Is it?
Absolutely. Let me pull this thing up. It was there's the it's called the Burn Project.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to start off, and we'll skip through the trivialities, but it starts with 1 trillion tokens, and 80% of the total supply is going to be burned on launch. 7%. This is another high tax one, but look what it's doing here. 7% is allocated to the buyback and burn wallet. 2% of the pool is allocated to Shiba Doge. So now the
Can you
Shiba Doge is going to
can
be
you pull
burning.
this one up?
Do what?
Can you share
Oh,
that screen?
yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Oh, here we go.
So they're starting with a max supply of 1 trillion tokens, 80% of which gets burned. So there's 200 billion that are going to be in circulation. 7% is allocated to buyback and burn, which 2% is automatically Shiba Doge. So Shiba Doge is going to have a burn function here. And then there's 3% allocated to liquidity, 3% to development, 2% is allocated to the burn DAO treasury. When we get down here, you start to look at the true burn. They're removing the token from the chain instead of just moving it to a burn wallet. Because when you
Okay.
move it to a burn wallet, all you're doing is increasing the floor.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
remove it from the chain, you're increasing the value of the remaining supply.
That's great.
So they're trying to increase the value in your wallet, not your lowest floor price. So that's that's a pretty cool idea. They don't know if it's going to work, and they're free to say it. Like they're not sure that it's going to work. But then they have the burn DAO, which will allow you every month to vote on what gets burned.
Okay. And are you involved as a regular content
Yeah.
person for Shiba Doge? Okay.
Shiba Doge sponsors me. I do content for their website
Okay,
and
cool.
for their YouTube channel. So
Sweet.
yeah, I'm involved with them. Then they have these burn card NFTs, 69 burn cards. They sold out already, so you can't get one of these, but they were 5 ETH a piece, and each
Oh,
contains a
okay.
total of 10% of the 0.15% max wallet size for your circuit for the supply, because the maximum wallet size is 0.15%, so that nobody controls the price on burn.
All right. Yeah, Bleeves, I've been really consolidating down when it comes to my portfolio. I
Yeah.
just, the current state of DeFi has really scared the crap out of me in a lot of ways. There's just been some things where I'm just like, you know what? I really have to fully feel conviction in things.
Yeah.
But in order to feel that, I need to feel that from you guys. Like, I really look at our group,
Yeah.
right? Our YouTuber influencer group. And you guys are the ones who are introducing things to me. And I appreciate it too, because I have definitely stepped back from my exploratory sort of phase, just out of fear, to be honest with you.
I think everybody should be afraid of this market.
Yes. Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
you should constantly be afraid of crypto, and you should constantly respect crypto, because it does create an opportunity for life-changing wealth for a lot of people.
Right.
But at the same time, it can also wreck so many people, and it does every day. We're not creating, one of the things about crypto is you're not creating wealth for anybody. All you're doing is transferring wealth from one party to another. Modi Kind, thank you for the bomb, man. $5 for BTA.
Boom.
We love BTFA here too, man. It's consolidating kind of low right now, and it's a great buy opportunity, by the way.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
76.40.
BTFA, we just did an AMA with Sway. Man, that's a project that does not scare me. It
Right.
excites me.
These guys are
Wagmi.
real professional, and
Yes,
like right
yes.
here, you can see it's kind of hit that floor. Like when it hits that floor, it's gonna bounce. So I made this little line here to kind of give myself an idea of if they're having normal growth, then this is where they'll end up. So
Right.
they've kind of broken away from, it'll have to be adjusted down just a little bit but for average holder investment prices.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Bleeves, but if you expand it back out where it was, that looks like a bull flag, but it just broke to the downside.
Yeah.
When it got to the point, right? So, and I think that kind of follows the trend of a lot of projects. When I hear people talk about, oh, the market's going up, it's going up, I'm like, what are you talking about? We're still below 3,000 on Ethereum. We're still below, 40K on BTC. So we're still hanging tight as far as I can see.
Well, we had some moves finally. So we're at 3150 on Bitcoin. Or 3150 on Ethereum, and we're at 42.7 on Bitcoin. So there's finally some positive sort of moves. It's got to sustain, obviously, and we got to get like a really good run going. But
this is in the past 24 hours.
Yeah, past 24 hours.
Yeah, I just looked at. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we were at
Okay, well,
2,900 just recently on Ethereum. Like it just there's a lot of teetering, and the market cap is at 1.965. 24-hour volume is 100 billion. I mean, 100 billion supports exactly where we are right now. So this is the market. If we can get up to 150, if we get 150 billion trading volume, that supports around a $3 trillion market cap on a daily basis, given some time, if it continues that way. But like the market's just been a little lethargic. People are concerned. People are worried about their money everywhere.
Well, can I tell you where I'm not worried about my money? Because I know we have this in common, is Wagmi.
Not at all. I'm not worried about that at all.
I'm so fired up for the beta coming out here in 6 days.
So am I. Dude, I'll put it this way. I was talking to Scott while he was jogging the other day because I was excited. He's
such a
running.
Scott thing. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's running going. And I'm like, just keep talking, man. Just keep talking.
That's great.
it's good exercise to keep going. But yeah, man, I think the run up, and we're at what 6 days away from the beta, so we're not that far away from, I think, hitting new all time highs and then just blowing them out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that about these. I think Shiba Doge. I think Shiba Doge has to do a version 2 because they have too many zeros.
Yes.
But Volt already did it, and now they're down to 5 zeros, and
Yes.
they've got 9 exchanges coming, and they've already announced one, and one of them just kind of fell in their lap. BTC Alpha, which is a fairly small one, but it's significant that these exchanges are now approaching them. This was
Mm-hmm.
not something that they were doing, and Volt has just, dude, I really think this thing is going to end up at a couple $1 billion market cap because of the positive sentiment and because these guys do so much to stay positive and motivated.
Yeah,
And then Terra,
I see them dipping into live streams, man, and they come
yeah,
with their bags packed, ready to just drop super chats, and
yep,
their marketing game is on point.
yeah. This was my line here for Terra. Like, we've blown that one completely out of the
Oh
water.
yeah, yeah.
We've lost the number of holders has just not increased
It's
in
gone
an extended
down,
period of time.
right? Because we were
Yeah,
touching that
yeah,
10,000 mark.
yep,
Ah, yeah, it's a shame. Well, we got that AMA coming out with Dean
yes,
tomorrow. Yeah, it would be tomorrow because it's morning for you. I'm just trying to do the calculation. So that should be interesting. It sounds like Terra has a new exchange listing that they've announced already.
yeah,
But yeah, hopefully they've got more in the chute that they're going to reveal at the AMA because we do need a pick me up there for
yeah. I think
sure.
Terrapool, and they're going to
Yes,
talk
that's going to be big.
Terrarium Exchange. That's going to be big.
Okay. Yeah, the Terrapool situation, the mock-ups, I mean, just get that out. Get that
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
That
That
would be
doesn't
great.
look very complicated. Like, it looks like
Right.
that's something that is probably done. They're just waiting to do the launch because it looked like a pretty clean interface. Now you just have to get some projects involved, get some people into it, get some programs launched, and I think they'll be fine.
Right on. I see some familiar names in the chat here. Crypto V
Oh
is
yeah,
asking if I have any Saitama left. And I've got as much dust as Bleeves has in some of the projects we were just talking about.
now I do
That's what
still
that's what
have.
I'm holding.
I've still got 791 billion now.
Okay, you're
So
still holding a little bit. All right.
yeah, I mean, you might as well hold on because you never know what's going to happen, and I don't need
Right.
it. So if it's not important, then just like
Right.
I decided a long time ago that was going to be my Tesla bag.
Oh,
So
there we go.
when Saitama is going to either earn me a Tesla or I'm not going to have a Tesla, is the way I
One or
see
the
it.
other.
Yeah,
I like this. Yeah, man. I think Scott just did an AMA with Russ. I don't know. I get confused because I've kind of put all of that behind me, to be honest with you.
yeah,
It's just in the distant past for me. And I see, Saita Realty. Obviously, I was familiar about the build up before that launch, but also now the commission, which I don't know much about other than through Scott, because, he was excited about it. But, I look, I really hope for the holders of Saitama and people in the ecosystem that this project can find some legs at some point. I just had to get out for very specific reasons, but you know what? Like, we need people feeling empowered. We need people feeling they can make a profit or at least break even, right?
yep,
Because at the end of the day, this is an investment. And what we don't need is disenfranchised people in the space who are not getting what they would hope to get out of these projects, because people talk a big game, right? We're talking about
yes.
developers. It's not just Saitama. It's a lot of projects. So we just need to be able to hold people to accord and hope that they can fulfill their promise.
Well, can I tell you that Saitama has had something of an issue the last couple of days
Mm,
between that pack of alphas that we all kind of recognized?
yeah. Yes.
Because obviously Jonathan and Anime have continued to do what they do because they're promoters of tokens, and you should only hold Saitama and only do for Saitama Group is now having a problem with them because they're promoting other tokens like Wagmi, and doing stuff like that to promote a positive environment for other tokens. They're now getting upset with them. And I think Jonathan yesterday was like, am I going to just go crazy on these people, or am I just going to be quiet? My
Imagine
recommendation
that.
was be quiet and just let it ride. Like,
Imagine that. You know
right,
what?
right.
I did, look, I have some very specific issues with some of these people,
Yeah,
especially Jonathan Torres PR. When I found out he was actually on the Wagmi train, man, I really had to like sit myself down and be like, look, dude, you need, and this is me talking to myself.
yeah,
Look, you know what Wagmi is and what it could be. You just need to put your stuff aside here,
right.
for this. I know some of us in the space won't work. YouTubers in our group won't work with Twitter influencers that have acted a fool
Right.
in Saitama, and we've had personal dealings with. It's almost like Team YouTube, Team Twitter in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. But for Wagmi, this was like me putting on my big boy pants, right? And saying, this is about money,
Yes.
investing, being an adult. It doesn't matter if he's involved or XYZ person is involved, but I just, man, and believes, man, all the shit our whole group has gone through in a variety of different projects.
Yep.
And they're going through those growing pains now, and they should, because it's going to make the space better. They're going to have
Absolutely.
to they're going to have to come they're going to have to be accountable for all the things they say in these Twitter spaces, and how are they going to handle it? Maybe they handle it swimmingly well. We'll see.
And what's crazy is he's now understanding that he was doing it to other people.
Yeah.
Like now he's like, oh shit. Like those are the moments where somebody realizes, oh shit, I've been doing this. Hey Chad, thank you for the bomb. Phantom, next Saitama. Listen,
We'll
Phantom's
see.
going to have a run when it launches, like any token that's new and comes out, because we don't control this space. Ryan gets a certain number of views. I get a certain number of views. It's not all the investors. So not everybody even knows who we are. Like we like to think of it sometimes, but
Right.
people don't really know who we are except for a group of investors. He's got his group. I've got my group.
Yep.
There's some interaction between all of them. And we give a call on something and some people get into it, but like for example, none of us covered goat. Nobody at all covered goat, and guess what? Goat went absolutely ape shit.
I
And
mean, in all fairness, one of us was talking about Goat, ironically, who was
yeah,
involved with Phantom.
yep,
But and I just want to say this just real quick, if I may, because I did a live stream with King, who was
yeah, we
involved with
watched it.
Phantom. Yeah, and I'll just say, look, it was important to bring King on to just let him speak
Yeah.
about the project. I wanted to give him a space where he could just talk and speak.
Mhm.
And it's important to give people space to provide their side of the story or what have you. And I think that transparency is really, really healthy for our communities, our joint communities. But I just wanted to just add to that in the sense that, I know some other folks in our space like Rodney and Awesome Austin and Sandstorm, they were taking a lot of heat past couple days because investors were concerned that, this, it's an attack on the Phantom project and people that have put money into the pre-sale, right? Like we're flooding the project. I'm in on the Phantom pre-sale. I got an
So
ETH
my
in
two
there.
wallets.
Yeah, see, okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear with, anybody who might be watching is that what happened yesterday with King, it's more of a transparency of our communication as a group of YouTubers. So you
Yeah.
guys get to see that versus what's going on with Phantom, which if they can pull this off, guys, with social media, and I've done a review, you can check out my channel if you'd like to see it. If they pull it off, the project could crush it. I mean, absolutely crush it. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there.
Yeah, the only problem that I had was really subjective in my mind. Number one, King called me. He asked me for my phone number. He called me. He said, how much would it cost to do something? I told him the cost. He paid me. And then after he paid me, we then talked shit for like a half hour, hung out, and, you know, we just became fast friends. And that was just cut and dry. It was super easy. I had no qualms, no issues.
It's exactly how it was for me, by the way. Exactly.
And then there was issues, and the issues, like I'm not sure what the issue is. I talked to Rodney specifically, and I told him what I thought, and then he told me absolutely not. What I thought, there was no mistake for him in what was going on. That this was just like, so, because I thought, you know, maybe Rodney just felt like he was jumping it and saying, you know, yeah, this is like, dude, I'll take care of this. I got you, man. And then Austin said, well, how much did you give Rodney? And you know what I mean? Like, and he was like, well, Rodney didn't take any payment. So then I thought maybe it just worked out that way, because that seems like the honest and easiest way for it to play out the right way in my mind. But Rodney was like, nope. And Austin was like, nope. And Brad was like, nope. Because I talked to all three of them yesterday.
And I think this is really, because so I had the opportunity to talk to King 45 minutes after that live stream, right?
Yeah.
Because I came at him on my live stream on Monday, which I call Sassy Mondays.
He hung up the phone and called me, by the way.
Oh, he did afterwards.
That's
okay.
how. He called me right after he got off with you.
Got you. So one thing I was really trying to identify with him, because I was trying to find the commonality. My biggest hang up was the fact that 4 or 5 people were saying the same exact thing. And I said, look, as a business person, right, a salesperson, which I am, okay, you get into speech patterns and you find yourself saying the same thing to individuals in order to, you know, provide information, but also sell an idea or a position that you want people to understand or buy into.
Right.
And one thing that we kind of isolated was the fact that he was telling everyone, you know, Austin Hilton, Zach Humphreys, like they weren't taking anything. And I said, well, don't you think that significantly influenced people in their negotiating position? And you kind of chose to do this with certain people over others, like us, right? Like, and I told him on the live stream, I didn't give him an opportunity to do the speech. I was like, this is my rate. Here it is, right? So that was the thing. So I don't know how things kind of fell after that. Obviously, you spoke with him after we spoke, but it was an amicable conversation. And man, I'm just hoping we can patch up our group, because I think that's really the value. I think that's hopefully what the community values, is seeing the camaraderie between all of us and the communication, and that extends out to the community.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to cut this short because it's 9:00 and I got to get to work, but I did want to say this. Like, I think I know that his goal was to make sure that people got paid. Like, I know that was his original goal. And here's the other part. Like, what felt uncomfortable for me, what made it uncomfortable for me, was Kings is a guy that's in the background. He's not that guy that stands out there in front of everybody. He's not Rodney. He's not Austin. Right. He's not me. He's not you. He's not that guy that goes out there and says, this product's going to go to the moon or something like that, or this has a chance of, you know, whatever. He doesn't do that kind of stuff. Like, he does his stuff behind the scenes. And what was happening was, and I was feeling uncomfortable for him, because like Rodney just wants to come on and confront somebody because he's doing it for the drama. And like, I appreciate it, because like I do stuff for the drama sometimes too. So I understand where Rodney's coming from, but Kings is not that person. And I know that he's not that person. And I know that he's incredibly uncomfortable when he's doing this stuff. Like, I know that that's not his persona. So like, I was feeling like, even though I understood where everybody was coming from, I was still feeling bad for Kings, because like, he's put into a position where, but first of all, he didn't want to be in the position that he was in with this project to begin with, but he was.
Because he never should have represented the project on Rodney's AMA. That was the big problem.
He got stuck in this situation because they had a plan, they had a goal, they were going to do this at a specific time. Like, they already knew when they were going to dox. They were going to do it the day before. Like, that was the plan in the beginning. So that was part of the run up, and then people turned it into something more. And Keith, what's going on, man? Thank you for the bomb. Hey, Ryan and Bleeves, charts going up and Bitmart is moving. L Bank announcement today and Hotbit, 4th and 5th exchange sign. Let's go. Dude, we're excited for CVC, man. I can't wait to see that version 2 update. I think it's going to be incredible. But I do have to get to work now. My bell just went off 5 minutes ago.
Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate
anything you want to say, Ryan?
No, I was going to say thank you so much for having me on your channel. I would love to see you, if possible, for the DGen wraparound on my channel tonight.
That is tonight, right?
Eastern.
It wasn't this
PM.
past week. I laid down, fell asleep, and then I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I missed it. And you didn't have it. So
I didn't have it. Last week was a whole mess. I got my father-in-law in town. We're having a great time here, but I'd love to see you.
I'll see you
tonight. Yeah, that'd be
tonight.
Great, man. Perfect.
Right,
Thank you so much.
Talk to you. Guys, this is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves, and I am always right.